So how have I been fishing recently? Well, I've always liked fishing over a lot of bait. This lake it's quite moody. Sometimes you only need a scoop to get a bite. Sometimes you need 10-15 kilos to get a bite. So throughout the day in summer, as it is everywhere else, there's no point putting tons of bait in, because the fish most likely be up in the upper layers of the water just enjoying the sun. So what I tend to do throughout the daytime, if I'm fishing, it will literally be one scoop over the rod and I'll leave it as that. But what I'll then do round about 3 o'clock, so still quite hot, is I'll go over my spot, and I usually have at least two rods on one area. I don't really like to bait up 2 or 3 spots with loads of bait. I'd rather have a lot of bait in one area and fish 2 rods on it, or even 3 rods on it. So I'll go out about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, either go out in the boat if I need to, or just walk along the margin and throw it in from there. And I'll go out with probably a good 5 kilo of bait, and 7 o'clock ish, 8 o'clock, just as it's starting to cool down, I'll go out and I'll put usually between 10 and 15 kilos on the same spot, put it out again. My thought process behind that is, and it might be me being paranoid or not, I'm not sure, but my thought process behind it is there is small fish in here. There's small carp in here from last year's spawning, and we've got a lot of fry from this year's spawning as well. We're actually netting, we're netting this winter to get as many of the small fish out as we can. But the 5 kilo that I'll put in about 3 or 4 o'clock, it's not there for me to get a bite. My primary thought process behind doing that is just having enough bait there for the fish to know that the bait's there, that there's food on that spot. If they come and eat it, then great, and we get a bite, fantastic. But I just want to put enough in to know that for those 4 or 5 hours before I go and put a lot in to fish properly throughout the night, I just want them to know that it's there, and I want to make sure there's enough there to last for that 4 or 5 hours. So like I said, with the smaller fish that are in the lake, and 20s and 30s that are in the lake, about 5 kilo will last for that good 4 or 5 hours. So, and then for my own confidence, I'll go out, as I said, 10 kilo at least over one area that's probably half the size of a tennis court, and then I'll have, most of the time being honest, I'll have 2 rods on that spot, and I'll have 1 rod off of that spot, so a good 2 rod lengths away from the baited area, and I'll throw and stick most of the time 20 or 30 boilies over that area, but again completely spread out, nothing really tightly compact or anything like that. Now that's just my way of fishing. We've had people come with bait boats, dropped it all in one pile, and they've done very well. My only thing with that is a small patch of bait like that, even if it's 3 or 4 kilo in the bait boat all dropped at once, it's very easy for the small fish to come in and just hammer that bait. We have had it a few times now where some of the small carp, 4 or 5 pound, have been foul hooked from small patches of bait, just because there's that much of a mad rush to get from them all to get in and get feed. Some of them end up being foul hooked, but it does work. Both baiting approaches work. If it slows down, most of the time I will back off completely on the bait. So all day long I won't put anything in at all. If I want to fish, I'll fish singles. 9 times out of 10, I mean, I'm very lucky, I live here, I won't even fish throughout the day. If it slows up, I'll go and find something else to do. Me and Rox will either go out to Le Mans or go for lunch or find some work to do, something like that. Le Mans isn't far from here, it's only 40 minutes away, which sounds a lot, but it's not. It's on the motorway, so it's not that far. So yeah, we'll go and do that. We've had groups come and they've gone out for the afternoon, gone down the pub or they've gone up to the shops or whatever, and they've come back in the evening and had 2 or 3 fish almost straight away. So it's definitely worth resting the swims. We've had people come and not fish nights, which in the summer isn't probably something I would recommend, but something that we found out from that was resting the lake throughout the night made it very good day fishing. So it's one of the lakes where after a few weeks the fish have cottoned on to the rigs and to the bait, and not really so much the spots, but just the rigs and the bait, and knowing where people are fishing. So we have a selection of baits here, boilies. In my own fishing, I'll always put a mixture in a bucket. So I'll put a load of pellet and then 2 or 3 flavours of boilies, all in that one mix, and I'll just throw it all out. Keeps them guessing, and I think it makes them easier to catch rather than having one flavour of boilie and that they know they're going to get caught on, and they ignore it. I'm convinced that the very big fish in here, the upper 40s and the 50s, I'm convinced they're not eating boilies. I think they're eating the pellets and not much else. So we're going to work on that theory a little bit. I'm going to start fishing pellets a little bit more and see how we go. Maybe we can get something a bit bigger out. The ghost common that came out a few weeks back, 45-13, that was caught on a 17mm pellet, one of our house pellets just drilled out. Simple as that, nothing around it other than pellet, and it came out. So that's how I've been fishing. The rigs that have been doing it for me has been combi rigs, long hairs as always, size 4 claw hook and size 4 curve shank hook. We've been using the snide tackle stuff as always on a combi rig. Yep. And the other rig that's been doing well is just a simple D rig, not made out of mono, just coated braid with a big D on it, just for that extra separation that we need here, because as I said, they like a longer hair. So having it really close to the hook on a D rig's not the best chance of doing it. They still come out on it on a small D rig, but you tend to catch more with a bigger D and that extra bit of separation. So yeah, that's how I've been baiting up, that's how I've been fishing. Super slack lines as always, and just sitting and waiting. The hook baits that I've been using are the ones that we roll here. It's the same mix we get from our bait supplier, but they just give us the paste, and then I hand roll some big baits in the kitchen and cook them. Once I know they're out there, they're hard hookers, they're big baits, I know the spots and I know my rigs. It's the beauty of the combi rig. If it's picked up by anything, something small, or if a big carp picks it up and spits it out, it's going to reset itself. So once my rods are out, I will leave them out until I catch a fish. That might be 12 hours, it might be 15 hours, it might be 10 minutes. But yeah, once they're in, I will sit and wait, which is actually very hard for me to do because I'm always scratching my head, but that's what's been working, and that's how I'm fishing the lake at the moment.